Hello and welcome to this video on how to do your bank reconciliation in Budget Express. What is the purpose of doing the bank and credit card reconciliation? Well, it's to get your actual operation and associate them to your planned operation or to create new operation directly in the system. In Budget Express, there's two ways of doing the reconciliation. The manual way in the calendar. We will see that this training in the second part of the video. And there's the automatic way using your bank or credit card operation. Most of your accounts lets you download files to do these actions. Budget Express will never connect directly to your bank or credit card account, mainly for security reasons. We don't want your account number and password in the software. The type of file usually available are Quicken or MS Money file with the extensions QFX or OFX. Budget Express also accepts CSV file, but the format of those files are often different from one bank to another, so we suggest you use QFX or OFX file. So let's begin by importing our a file that we downloaded from our bank account. So when I click I go into the reconciliation menu and I click into this box, I can choose a file from my computer. You see that those files are already related to Budget Express because I already did some reconciliation in my system. Let's open the file. So you see the file name is right into the import window. Click Next to enter the association window. In our left panel, we see the uploaded operation from our credit card file, and on our right we see our expense and revenues for that was entered into Budget Express. This is for the month of February because we are in February right now, but I want to change this period because what I want the operation I want to reconcile are in January. So I will choose last month. From this window you can choose any period that you need. You can also custom the period. So if you want to do a particular reconciliation for 10 days, let's say. Well, let's choose last month. So now I'm in January. So let's begin our reconciliation. The first entry is in my file is Walmart. I click into this little box to do our first reconciliation. I know that when I went to Walmart, I bought children's clothes that was planned for $75, but I bought a little bit more. So the entry is for $242.74. So when I will reconciliate our operation directly with our children's clothes operation, you'll see the amount will change. The $75 that was planned will be kept in the system, but the actual amount will change to this amount. So let's do our first reconciliation. So you see first of all that the line changes to blue, so that will show us that we already did a reconciliation on this particular operation. And I have this mark that tell me that from this file, this particular operation has been reconciliated. Another thing that I can do, I can reconciliate more than one operation at a time. Let's say these two entries were for groceries, so I want to enter them in the same planned amount. Let's say on the 6th and for the groceries. You see that I had $250 planned. Now what it will do, it will add both of these entries and enter them into my planned groceries operation. So we can do 2 or 3 or 4 at the same time. There's no problem with that. And you will see that when we'll go back to the calendar, what it did actually do into our planned operation. So another thing that you can do, you can also plan your income. So let's say I got my pay here, so that I will be able to reconcile the pay for my revenue also, not just for the expenses. So you see that the amount has been changed, and it will be showed into my calendar. So I will need to do this for every single entry that I have in my file, so that I want to reconcile. I don't have to do all of them, but I will do those that I need to do. So let's see other things that we can do directly from this window. First of all, you see that there's 2 pages, so it means that I have more. On the second pages, I have other entries. The same thing in my planned operation. You see that I have more than 1 pages, so I can just change the page. The entries are all done in the order of from the date. The same thing in my file. So another thing that I want to do is I want to show you it. Let's say I bought at the hardware store at Canac. I bought something that I don't want to have as a planned expense. It's something that I will probably never buy again, and I just want to enter the actual amount so that I will be able to analyze this information later. So I don't need to reconcile directly to a planned operation. I can create a new one. This red plus button at the far right, let me do this. When I click on the plus button, I will be able to choose a subcategory related to this particular expenses. I said it was for home maintenance, so let's go into this particular service. So I will select this service. It will create a new entry, an actual entry at this date, the January 9th, and the description will be Canac. So you see this operation is right here now. Another thing that I wanted to show you is, for example, I forgot to enter my expense related to gas. So I will create a new planned operation by clicking on this at the right bottom of the screen, this big red button. It will let me create a new entry, a new operation for an expense or an income. In that particular case, it's an expense. So this is the same window that you have used to create all your operation in the system. So you know how to do that. And I will go into my subcategory and go into transport, because I know it's at the bottom, transport, and gas is right here. So let's say that I usually expense $65 a week, beginning in January, because I'm doing my bank reconciliation for January, and usually I go on a Saturday. So let's do this particular entry. So you see now that this planned operation is now available for me to do this reconciliation. So I will do this one for Shell, and then Costco on this one. So you see that it's very easy to add a new entry for a planned entry or just an actual entry. So this concludes the part to create my to do my reconciliation from a file. I didn't finish the file, but I can finish it later. So let's click next. When I will click on the finish button, what it will do is, first of all, it will direct me to the calendar window, and it will end the actual reconciliation. So if I need to do the reconciliation with the same file, I will need to upload it again. So this is important. That's why I get this message, so that I know that I'm leaving the menu, so that if I'm not finished, I can say no and go back and continue the actual work. But if I want to finish, I will be directed to the calendar. Like I said, I will go into January to show you what everything that we did. So first of all, you remember that I created a new entry. So the Canac entry is right here, and it's entered into my calendar. And I wanted to show you what I did for the groceries. When I did my reconciliation for groceries on the 6th, I entered 2 different operations from my credit card account. So what that did is to create those 2 entries directly in my daily operation for this particular subcategory on the 6th of January, and I see the different entries. It's always time to edit the information or delete, because if I didn't enter it at the right date, or if I want to edit for any reason, I want to change the description or the amount, it's always possible. One really important thing that we did when we did the reconciliation from the file is every time that I clicked on the conciliate button, this particular function changed to yes. This operation took place, changed to yes. That's why you see on this particular entry that I have this little mark in front of the groceries and the gas, and I don't have one for Aokijimi because the operation didn't took place, because I never did any reconciliation for this daily operation, so it's not done yet. So that's why this indicator didn't change for those. Now I said that there was two ways to do the reconciliation. The other way is to do a manual reconciliation. Let's use this entry Aokijimi to do our reconciliation. So if we don't want to do it from a file, or we just we don't need to do it from a file every single entry, but when I want to do it manually, when I click on the operation, what I need to do is to create a new entry. So let's say this was for the Aokili. I will enter the description and the amount. The amount was planned $75, but I actually paid $85 because because this is what they charge me. So that's why I'm doing this entry, because it's important to enter the amount when the planned operation and the actual spending was different. So when I do that, if I don't click on this indicator, it will stay at $75, like you will see. But when I click on the indicator that this operation took place, now you will see the amount will change, and I will have my new mark in front of the entry, so that I'll know that this actual operation was reconciled. So this is how we do the reconciliation manually. You can do as many entries as you want. So let's see this one for my school, for the school for the children. I want to do 2 entries. So first entry, let's say this one was for $100, and a new entry for second entry for $50. I can do this that way. But when I'm planning $150 for a daily operation, and I do the actual spend is the same amount, it's not necessary to do it in the system. We will see in the analysis what is the difference when we do it and when we don't. So I will keep this entry so that we'll have an example in our analysis. So when I did with all the information that I just entered in the system, all this actual information that I entered in the system, what's very important is when I'm at the end of the month and I want to verify my all the entries that I did, it's from the analysis menu that you will be able to get the information. What I want to show you is the detailed report by operation, and I want to use the comparative data. So comparative data means that I want to compare the actual entries from the planned operation that I did before, and I also want to show you the description for all the different entries that I did. So I will click also on reconciliation. I'm in the January, I chose the January period. So let's do the analysis. So you'll see that we have our entries for all the expenses, in that particular case, and income. And you see a big difference right away. The amount that are in black means that they were not reconciled, and in blue means they were reconciled. We can also see the different descriptions for all these entries. So what we see, we have the actual operation, the planned operation, and the difference. So let's say that for the telephone, let's take this example. I always pay $40 a month, and this never change, so I don't need to do the actual entry for this operation, because the real amount and the planned amount will always be the same, unless I do a particular reconciliation. That's what I did with let's say the MSS and a little bit at the bottom. You see the amount are 150, 0. The difference is 0. The only reason that I did that is to show you that if I want to have different descriptions for a particular reason, that I'm able to see the description when I did the reconciliation. But if I don't need that, I don't have to do it when the actual amount is the same. So we see that we have the difference in here, because I had less revenues and more income from the actual column than I did from the planned column. So that's why I got the difference. So this report is very important when we do the reconciliation. So it's the detailed report with the comparative indicator, sorry. So I'll be able to see this information very, very rapidly. I can also do the summary report, but I don't have the description because it's not from any not for a particular date, but I will be able to summarize the information to if I just need to see the big picture for this particular month. So also, if I go back to my detailed report, I forgot to show you that you can also analyze the account and credit information that I entered for this reconciliation. So all this information is available not just for the expense and revenues, but also for directly for the account that was used to do our reconciliation. So this will conclude our video on how to reconciliate your operation. If you need any help or you have any question, please send an email to support@budget-express.com. I will be very happy to answer all your questions. Thank you very much.